Sawasdee krap. Good afternoon once again. Monday, the 14th of February, 2022, and this is the English language summary of the press briefing here at the Center for COVID Situation Administration, or CCSA. So thank you, Dr. Pisamai, for the Thai language version of the briefing as usual. Let me begin right away with a quick summary of the Thai briefing that we had just now. In particular, points and issues which I believe will be of interest to the English language audience tuning in here in Thailand and on social media around the world. Firstly, for the update on entry into Thailand. So it's the middle of February right now. We have some statistics for you for the period of the 1st to the 13th of February 2022. We're in over 78,000, and to be exact, 78,793 travelers entered Thailand. Of this number, 39,277 travelers continued to enter via the Test and Go, or the Quarantine Exemption Scheme. We have 33,550 through the Sandbox scheme in the various provinces, and 5,966 entering with quarantine within the quarantine system. Among the total number of travelers, we have 2,351, or 2.98% who were tested positive upon entering into Thailand. The majority of international travelers, and we have a slide for you there, come from these top 10 countries. This is the tally for the first half of this month, the first half of February. So the majority coming from Russia, Germany, UK, and the rest as you see on screen. The infection rate is also an important piece of information. Infection rate from overseas travelers has been slightly decreasing actually, which is in accordance with the number of new additions and new confirmed cases each day worldwide, which is on a decline. Now, for the general situation in Thailand, I'd like to highlight first that we remain at number 31st place in the world ranking for the number of COVID-19 cases. In particular, the statistics that we have reported for today, we have 14,900 new confirmed cases compared to the recoveries, new recoveries, 9,810. Active cases in the green box in the middle, you see 129,933 cases. Active cases still being treated. New fatalities, 26. The fatality rate is 0.87%. And moving on, now you see you will have on screen for you the top 10 provinces with COVID-19 cases. In green, as usual, is the number of new cases that is less than the previous day. It's good to see that various provinces which have been sort of the epicenter of the COVID situation in Thailand, major cities and provinces, Bangkok, Nonthaburi, Samut Prakan, Chonburi, many of these provinces have seen a downward trend, a lower number. However, other provinces which previously were not in the high number scale continue to have an increasing number of cases. So it's like, I guess we're in the middle right here, that many of the provinces and cities which were quite on top now are getting better, but then the other provinces have been receiving, have been finding cases spreading in a wider scale in the provinces which were previously not on the top list. So you can see perhaps there's green and red, so it's kind of half of the list. So hoping that this list will turn green as the days go by. You can see that the new confirmed cases slightly decreasing in Bangkok, Samut Prakan, Chonburi, Nonthaburi, and the areas nationwide have continued to surge. So furthermore, we've found more critical cases among the lower aged groups and teenagers. Now, if you recall, in the past, the critical cases, high number of cases were mostly those who are in the senior age group, the elderly age group. We have found more and more cases among the lower age groups, teenagers. So we continue to monitor the situation and recommend people to stay vigilant. For the fatalities today, I mentioned 26. The majority continue to be the elderly, and 2 cases in that group are lower than 60, so mostly higher than 60. And they have congenital diseases as well. So the fatalities are still from vulnerable groups, and the CCSA continues to advocate and to prioritize vaccination for these groups. Local transmissions also continue to be found in workplaces, communities, and families and schools. Vaccination progress continues. Yesterday, Sunday, the 13th of February, before today, Valentine's Day, we administered 276,153 doses. So over 276,000 doses, increasing the accumulated number of doses in Thailand to over 120 million doses to date. This brings us to 75.9% of Thailand's population receiving their first dose and 70.8% having received their second dose. And following is the, climbing up the list is the booster dose, which to date 25.9% or 17.9 million people have received their booster dose. A little bit about the booster dose vaccination at Sue Central Vaccination Center. This center has announced that it would provide 3 types of Pfizer vaccine for a booster dose, either 3rd or 4th booster dose. And you have some information on screen there for you. But basically the 3 types, the first is intramuscular injection at 30 mcg per micrograms per dose. Second is intramuscular at 15 micrograms per dose. And third is intradermal, the outer layers of the skin, intradermal, at 10 micrograms per dose. According to studies in Thailand and abroad, a half dose of intramuscular injection or intradermal injection has the same effectiveness as a full dose of intramuscular injection, but will have fewer side effects, symptoms, but more pain, a little bit more pain in the vaccinated spot. Those who wish to get this half dose of intramuscular or intradermal vaccine should register with the Sue Central Vaccination Center and inform the officer at the entrance on that day. So just some information, since we're in the English language version, something about our coordination and the relationship with our neighboring countries. So in particular, the government's plan to reopen the southern border. So according to the deputy government spokesperson, the government is planning to reopen the Thailand-Malaysia border next month in March 2022 to stimulate tourism and the economy in the deep southern provinces. The Prime Minister has also ordered the CCSA and the Tourism EOC, or Tourism Emergency Operations Center, to prepare and outline the pandemic mitigation measures, in particular for the reopening of the southern border provinces in the checkpoints in the provinces of Songkhla, Yala, Narathiwat, and Satoon. And following the government's policy to open a travel bubble with Malaysia, tourists from neighboring countries will be allowed to enter through the test and go scheme with no quarantine upon arrival. However, visitors will still need to pass 2 RT-PCR tests after arriving in Thailand, and the CCSA will keep updating on this issue, which has actually already been widely reported in the press after the announcement by the government spokespersons. So just of course, you know, today is Valentine's Day. I understand that people would want to be close with your loved ones, have gatherings and celebrations. After all, it's the festival of love and care, of course, keeps us healthy and alive. So, however, we are still in an ongoing COVID situation globally. So allow me to encourage everyone to once again be vigilant and make sure you enjoy these activities along with universal prevention measures. In order to prevent yourself and your loved ones from getting infected, we have to continue to practice new normal. It's a new normal way of showing your love and goodwill to other people, your friends and family in this year. So show love in the new normal way. That's perhaps the summary that I wanted to give you today. As for myself, I'll be staying safe. I'll be tweeting, and of course, my attention will be on providing information to the general public even after the broadcast that we have today. We continue to provide on social media, my own or the offices, the Foreign Ministry, the CCSA, the Ministry of Public Health, through social media to provide continuous information even after these weekly or twice weekly briefings that we have. So my attention and our attention will be continued towards providing the updated and correct information to all of you, even on particular important days and occasions like today, Valentine's Day. So that's all I have for you today. Thank you for your attention. Please have a pleasant week ahead, and we'll see you again next time. สวัสดีครับ
ครับขอบพระคุณนะครับท่าน